live.
Yay! Okay.
Okay, it says we're live. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Gloria Oz. For those who are new here, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead right now and hit that red subscribe button. Today we have a guest, a wonderful woman, mother. Her name is Titi Lola, and she also has a YouTube channel. I will leave the link to her channel in the description. And the topic for today is pregnancy and raising kids as a new immigrant in Canada. So, Titi Lola, please tell us who you are. I know I've said a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank you for having me. Um, we beat the odds to be doing this today because the chaos in my life, I can't even explain. So, thank you all for joining this live stream. My name is Titi Lola. I live in Toronto, Canada. I own a YouTube channel. I have two beautiful boys. I share my story or lifestyle around, um, what am I saying? I create content around my lifestyle and my family, beauty, and whatnot. And most especially, I share information that helps new immigrants to move, settle, and survive in Canada. Yeah.
Awesome. And Titi Lola too is not like born Canadian, so she's from
Yeah.
Africa too.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
she'll be sharing some of these questions. I've been people have been sending in to me based on pregnancy. What are the process for getting pregnant as a new immigrant here in Canada, and things like antenatal. So maybe you kind of give us the basics for all of that.
Okay. Okay. If I knew that you were going to ask me that, I would have done a little bit of research. But from the things I know from the top of my head, I'll tell you. I migrated to Canada almost 6 years ago. I'll be 6 years in June. And
Mm.
I got pregnant 2 years after I came. Oh, actually, yeah, I think yeah, 2 years after I got married, and then baby came. It wasn't planned, but yeah, he came. So Kofi. So first of all, before I talk about pregnancy and childbirth interventions, let me first of all say I had my sister here. My sister had been here for I think 8, 10 years before I came. So she was a great help. So she gave me information. So if you're looking for information here, don't say, oh, she's a new mom, she doesn't know much. I'm going to share with you what I know. Again, do not take it with a pinch of salt, but do not also neglect what I'm going to say. Because I mean, they are from my own personal experiences, and a lot of the things I'll say are valid, right? So, okay. So first of all, if you're planning to have a baby in Canada and you're not already in Canada, it's a completely different process. If you're here in Canada, it's also a different process. I'm not sure which one. How should I go?
Let's do for those who are just coming in.
Okay. So if you're new in Canada and you like to have, go on that journey, um, so first of all is, when you find out you're pregnant and you're thinking of which way to go, you have two options. Just know that for sure. After sharing my experiences, from how I had my first baby and then my second baby, by the way, he's behind here, right here. I'm doing it the African way. That's how I survive. Um when okay, so let me go to you, not me. When you decide that you want to go on that journey, two options you have is to use a family doctor or you use midwife. So back to what I was saying, a lot of people do not know about the midwife options. And when I share my experience about my childbirth, you're like, how did you use midwives? What, like, at what point does the doctor come in? And even after having my baby, I had this one at home in my living room. I had a beautiful home water birth. The video is on my channel. Um, so when I had that experience, when I shared it, people were very surprised. Like, how did you think that you wanted to have a baby in your living room? How did you use midwives? When are you going to take the baby to the hospital? And I said, baby's not going to the hospital. And they're like, oh, why? I'm like, don't you know what midwives do? So there are a lot of questions about that options. But yes, you have the options to use midwives and or your family doctor, depending on the type of pregnancy you're having. If everything is progressing normally, you're having a normal, healthy baby, yes, midwives are the best option to go for, in my own opinion, and from my own personal experience. So when you go with your midwives, you just do everything as they say. And if you're a permanent resident of Canada, of course, everything will be covered in your insurance, unless they say otherwise. Um, Now let's go to um, the people who are outside of Nigeria. So if you want to come to Canada to have a baby, it's called childbirth tourism. Now, in childbirth tourism, there is absolutely nothing wrong with declaring that you want to come to Canada to have a baby. It's legal. Even if you do not know whether you want to have the baby in Canada or not, declaring that you're pregnant to the immigration officer is nothing wrong. So do not feel like you have to conceal that type of information. In fact, concealing that information is what is wrong, right? So um, you are only allowed to stay for 6 months when you come. So you have to come at some point in your pregnancy, not right away, so that you can come. And, usually you're supposed to stay for at least 6 weeks so that your baby can receive the adequate care that they need before they are discharged, before you return back to your base. So I would say, if you're planning on getting pregnant, because of how the visa processes are um, extended now, the processing times are extended. Although I don't know if you know this, but there's a new immigration portal that is open for temporary visa applications, where the wait time for visiting visa is like 77 days. So I would say, if you plan to come have a baby in Canada, get an invite, apply for your visiting visa way before you start even trying, because chances are you will get a 2 years visa that will allow you to come multiple times, and in one of your visits you can have your baby. However, because you're not a permanent resident of Canada, you will have to sponsor, your your the expenses that comes with your delivery. And it could be anywhere from, say, $5,000 to up to $100,000, depending depending on what happens. Say, God forbid, you come here when you're 30 weeks pregnant, and you have a premature baby, and baby has to go into NICU. Spending one day in NICU will cost you at least, maybe, from what I've seen, it could be up to $1,000, depending. It could be up to, it could be a little bit more, it could be under, but you have to prepare for those days by yourself. It will have to come out of your own pocket, right? So those are emergencies that you may not plan for, but could potentially happen. God forbid. But yeah, those are the possibilities. So when you get here, you find a doctor. Now, I'm not sure if you can go with a midwife if you come to Canada in the middle of your pregnancy, because they do not have your history. However, if you're using a doctor from back home, I'm assuming that you come with all your records, right? So you can give that to a doctor and they can continue your care. I'm not too sure at what. I know that there is a time up to when a midwife can have your care transferred, but I'm not sure if it's too late. I'm not sure they will feel comfortable onboarding you if you're like you've progressed way into your pregnancy. So yeah, that's did I answer the question?
Yes, you did. I kind of picked a little things from what you said. So, do they have to pay that money immediately, or is it that they give you some time to pay those bills?
I think you have to buy some type of insurance. Yes, I think that's how you buy it, but I'm not the best person to answer that question.
Sure.
Yeah, you have to look into, I think you buy it like you're buying a travel insurance or something like that. I know this whole process has been explained to me before, because like it's been over a year ago since I wanted to make a video to talk about this. And after I had the baby, people were, reaching out to ask me how you can have a baby in Canada, and asking me about my experience. And I would do my research, but my memory is failing me right now to give you like the details. But if you subscribe to my channel, you can hang in there and see, because one of these days I definitely should be talking a bit more about that.
Sounds good. Next one is so I know I'm not yet a mother, but what about antenatal? I know in Nigeria, I know my sister-in-law had to go for like antenatal. Does that happen here as well?
Yeah, so antenatal classes, they call them something different here. So prenatal classes are what
Okay.
they call them here. So for Kofi, my first son, I went. It was every 2 weeks, I think, or every week. I can't even remember. It was very nice for me because I made mom friends. I
Mhm.
learned a lot about, car sitting, things that you in a million years you will not even think about. How to put your baby in a car seat, what to expect after baby is born, breastfeeding. They don't really talk that much about these things, because at the end of the day, I feel like you really have to experience it for you to really get it. Because when they talked about breastfeeding, it wasn't like they talked about like the challenges you could go through.
Yeah.
They just really talked about it in general, like feeding in general. So for that, it was very helpful because it gave me like a general idea
Mhm.
of what momhood could be. But for Kwesi, my second, I did not go. I only went for my midwife visits every 2 weeks, once every month. So first of all, it was once every month, and then it was once every 2 weeks, and then closer to the time, it was every week. So I got COVID in between pregnancy with my second. I was 29 weeks when I was COVID positive, and they had to put me on close monitoring because I was monitoring my oxygen. And at 33 weeks, I had preterm labor. So I was in labor for like 5 hours, but thankfully nothing happened, and baby stayed until 39 weeks. But yeah, during that time, I had to be monitored closely. So if your pregnancy is fine, you will not need that many doctor's visits or prenatal midwife visits. So yeah, you don't necessarily have to go for antenatal classes.
No. So if there are international students who come here, I know you talked about this before, but in regards to
Mhm.
international students who get pregnant here, so is that okay for them without having to pay the bills? And also, when you're answering that, remember there are also people who come with their permanent residency. Are they also able to use the
Yes, yes.
midwifery?
So
Yeah,
if you're a permanent,
do that as well.
yeah, if you're a permanent resident and you have your health card, you're fine. You're
Yeah.
covered.
Okay.
Um, you're covered for everything that your health card allows you. The Ministry of Health. So for me, I paid nothing. I'm a permanent resident. I'm still a permanent resident. Um, so yeah, I paid absolutely nothing.
Okay.
However, if you're a student, yes, there are things that your health card covers you for, right? But if you're a student in Canada, you're considered to not really have a status.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same applies. You have to take care of your finances when it comes to childbirth. I don't know how that looks, what that looks like, because I don't even know anyone who's been through that part. I actually know, oh, okay. I actually know someone who is pregnant right now. So I think I'll have to ask them, and
Yeah.
I'll elaborate when I have more information on my
Sure.
channel. Mhm.
Sounds good. I would put that link so that people can go back there and then they can go and check out what the response to that would be. So,
Right.
in terms of pregnancy, we haven't started talking about raising kids here in Canada, but how do you mentally prepare for pregnancy physically? And while you're answering that question, please also talk a little bit about, your home delivery so that we can, those that are thinking of doing the same thing can do that too.
Right. Okay. So For me, how do you mentally prepare for pregnancy? Um, for me, the first time with Kofi, it wasn't planned. So it happened, I was accepting of it, and because I didn't even know what to expect at all, it was I wasn't worried too much, right? But the only thing is when things were happening, like, when I didn't feel baby kick, I'll be so worried. I'll call my midwife. And good thing about midwives is that you can call them 247. So, yeah, I don't know if there was any mental preparation for Kofi, but for Kwesi, he was planned. I was ready. And throughout the pregnancy, I knew what I wanted, and I maintained a very positive mindset. I would go in front of the mirror because we tried for like 2 months, July, August. Yeah, we tried for like 2 months before he finally came in. I'll go in front of the mirror and I'll touch my belly and I'll tell myself that I would born beautiful children and how they would be. And I will say, God, any child that will kill me will not enter. Any child that I'm telling you, I am telling you. I had a friend who passed away after childbirth. So that was a very emotional thing for me. And I will tell God, any child that would have issues after they are born into suffering, God, it's not it.
It's not
Yeah, it's not what I desire. And as much as we say we pray and we say according to the will of God, I also got this insight when I was pregnant. I said, even though we pray and say let things happen according to the will of God, we forget to remember that God also gives us blank checks for you to tell him what you desire and what you want. So I told God, for some families, it may be part of God's plan that their child has a disability. God works in mysterious ways, right? But I told God that what I desired, I wanted a perfect, healthy baby. And yeah, that was my heart. And even though we had COVID, no, when I had COVID in pregnancy, I thought I was going to die. I always prayed going to bed like it was my last day. You know how like you wake up, you open your eyes and you're trying to be conscious of where you are, like, wow, I'm still alive. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it for me. Every time I woke up to pee, I'll be like, God, this was not the plan. This was not the
Mm.
plan. Please help me, help me. And thankfully it all worked out. So um yeah, I always like maintain a positive mindset. I didn't bring people in my space who did not encourage me, you know, mentally. I prayed. I was just like I knew what I wanted and I fixated my mind so much on it that it really just overwhelmed me. So there was nothing anybody it was a very tough pregnancy. It was hard because I had pelvic bone pain right from 10 weeks. I
Mm.
had um I had what's this thing what's this I had a uh, what's this thing shit.
It will come. It will come.
Yeah. um um ro- it's disappearing. Hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids.
Had
Okay.
hemorrhoids for like a few days. My goodness, my legs were they were my legs never swell up, but they were so painful. Like I couldn't stand for long. If I stand longer than 5-10 minutes, it was hell. It was just very difficult. But I just you know told myself that it was going to be over one day, and I enjoyed the
Mhm.
process as much as I could. And yeah, I feel like really there is no hard or fast rule to how you can mentally prepare. Just
Yeah.
do it your way and just maintain a positive mindset.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
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 Now we're talking now about raising kids. Obviously, how parents raise kids in Nigeria is different from how parents raise kids in Canada. Can you
Hmm.
share what's the hardest thing about raising children here in Canada? And if you can touch also on how parents discipline their kids here.
That one is hard. The Nigerian in me. Can I answer that question honestly? Ah,
Please be honest. Don't tell us that we should slap the kids.
ah, let me tell you what. I feel like how you discipline your child is up to you.
Yes. Yeah,
Do
exactly.
not let anybody tell you what is right or what is wrong. You know your child the best, and
Yeah.
like there was there was a post someone made about how she used slippers to hit her children. She was like, anybody when misbehave go collect. I said that's right. So she talked about how she used slippers to flog them, and all the Instagram aunties and uncles, daddies and mummies came after her, and some
Oh.
were just really saying stuff. And I left a comment there, and I was like, see, first of all, you are not the parent here. The
Mhm.
parent knows better. And the parents love, you cannot tell me you from the internet you love the child more. Do you get, like, nobody loves my child more than I do.
True.
So if I feel like they deserve to be smacked, in that moment, then that's up to me. Respect, just respect my decision to discipline my child however I want. So I feel like the biggest challenge with raising children here in Canada is that cultural difference. The culture is so wide, the difference is so wide. And the fact that the children are exposed to that sort of like contradicts, if you're African, like me and you, that we were raised a certain way, it sort of like contradicts how we were raised. And I'm not saying, beat your child or don't beat your child, but I'm just emphasizing or highlighting on the fact that we have completely different cultures. But one thing that we are very conscious about in raising our children is raising them in our culture. You realize that children who are raised in a culture do rarely drift away. I'll tell you what, how many times do you see an Asian kid in the news that they got arrested over something or they are misbehaving over something? When you go to an Asian restaurant, do you see anybody that does not look like them in the restaurant? Everything, all the staff is them. That's their culture.
Yeah.
How about the Italians? How about the Filipinos? Look at them. Every of those people who have a community, who have a culture, they stick together. Why does our own have to be different?
Hmm.
So if you find a child that has culture in them, they behave. So no matter what the school system tells you, try not to raise your child outside of your culture. I speak my language at home. I speak it to my children. I remember one of my friends heard me on the phone the other day, well, a long time ago, like over a year ago, and she was like, won't you spell their English? I say, am I an Englishman?
Oh.
Why do I have to worry about? In fact, so here's the thing. My brother studied in Russia, and he had to learn the Russian language to be able to study. His English got rusty. You would actually think he's a black Russian guy. His English got rusty, but he came back. Now he's in the UK. He's back with speaking very well, and now the Russian language is a plus. And he learned Russian as an
Hmm.
adult. You can learn English from watching TV shows. You can learn English from reading books. You can learn English from the streets. But you see, your culture, you can only learn it from your home.
True.
Your language, you can only learn it from your home. So be grounded. Ground your children in your culture, in your family, if you don't want to lose them. So that's all I'm going to say, because you see these children, they're like sponges. They soak everything all in. And in their formative years, that's when you need to imbibe all of those things that you want them to grow up in, so, or grow up with. So if you want to do the work now so that you can sleep later, better don't think twice about it. This is the time. I have a friend who, in fact, I've never met her. She's in Europe, but I met her through a friend. She's from my village. Every time we talk, we don't speak English. And
Hmm.
I'm so happy. We speak my language only. And when I don't know what to say, oh, what's this thing called? She tells me. So she was like, since they got to Sweden, um, they've not really been speaking the language, but after we started talking, she feels motivated. Like she's like, this is good. So I'm like, there you go. There is no how I'm not saying this is a guarantee that your children will not misbehave or my coffee misbehave. I'm just telling you, when they know this is the culture, they will always know how to behave. You're not the same like other people. You don't have the privileges that those people have. So teach them teach them how you want, according to your own family values, whatever that is. But I feel like one of the things that parents should stop doing is questioning the parenting style of other parents. Just mind your business and raise your children however you like, however you think is deemed necessary, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that question is because I've heard how some people say when you're here in Canada, you can't spank your kids. That if your neighbors hear your kids cry or stuff like that, they would report you and your kids can get taken away from you. So it's something that new parents want to find out. Is that really true? Should I close my door? Should I turn on the volume of my TV set so nobody hears that I'm disciplining my kids? So those are the kind of things that they need to know.
Yeah, I mean, discipline your kid and abusing your kid is
Two
they are
different
two
things.
different things. If maybe every time my son goes to school, you see a bruise on him and he's always afraid of people, he's antisocial, like he shows some type of social anxiety, then you know something is wrong at home. But there is no how you see my child and you know he's raised in excess love. Kids cry. If you want
Mhm.
to call social service on me and they come and they see how a child, they need proof, right?
Yeah.
If you go and say you don't want to mind your business, you now want to go and call social service on me, and they come and they are like, okay, he has his own room, okay, he seems to have very good living conditions. Oh, this child can read, he writes, he loves mommy and daddy.
Oh,
What are you talking about? Do you get? So why
yeah.
you have no proof, right?
Hmm.
So I don't think that that's something that people have to worry about. If somebody hears your child cry, kids cry, babies cry. What are you saying? So are you saying because he's screaming and like Kofi can go through a temper tantrum and just scream when nobody's on? He sees my mannequin and my wig on it, and he screams. He says it's a monster. There's a monster in the house.
Oh,
Did I beat him? No.
no.
So if somebody now say they want to go call social service because they are hearing my child scream like something is wrong, then I don't know. I don't know what I'll say to that neighbor, but I
It
pray not to
doesn't.
be that type of neighbor. Yeah, I will not abuse my child. At some point, you have to have a system that works for you. And at this point, Kofi is 3 years old. We have to have conversations with him because yeah, that's the stage where you have to teach them to manage their emotions. And if we cannot manage our emotions, then we're not going to be showing the type of representation that we want him to see.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering about schooling for the kids when new immigrants come in and they want to start taking their kids to school. At what age can they start, and how was the process like?
Okay, so I'm actually an elementary school teacher with the Toronto District School Board. Um, so it's great working with kids, and I teach kids in JK to grade 8, so between 4 and 13 years old. So if you come, there is a what's it called? Daycare. There's pre sorry. There is daycare. There is JK. Sorry, there's. I've been away from. I've been on leave for a while.
That's true.
There is daycare, there is a preschool, there is JK, and there is grade 1 to 8. So um preschool is between 3 and 4, and then from 4 you start JK. Now it's funny because the school system, how it works, varies from province to province. So I mean, it's the same age group, but like how you enroll, I mean, varies from depends on where you are. And when you're in preschool, some schools or some provinces may not let you like have your kids going full time. It may be a few days a week for a couple hours like that until they're in JK, where they now go from 8:30 until 3:30 or 3 p.m. I think. Yeah, so that's really how it is. For daycare, if your child is between 0 to 3, I think. My brain, yeah, 0 to 3, yeah. So it's you have to pay the costs for that, and daycare could go up to $2,000.
Ooh.
um if you get subsidy, depending on what your income is, you could get childcare subsidy at the daycare. It depends on how much your daycare costs. Like the one Kofi goes to, the full cost is a thousand plus. But with subsidy, we're able to get, up to 30 something percent off. So depending on how much you're earning, you can. I was working part time, so I had to. So now, if you're not working full time or part time, so part time hours is considered 25 hours a week, full time hours is considered 35 to 40 hours a week. So if you're working full time, of course, you get subsidy. If you're working 25 hours a week at least, you get subsidy. But if you're not working up to 25 hours, um, oh, someone was saying something, but I'll let you read that. If you're not working up to 25 hours, then you may not be qualified to end subsidy. So it all comes down to what you're eligible for. So yeah, what else? Yeah, preschool is a small amount. I think some schools could be up to $400 a month. It just really depends again. But until they get to JK, school is not free. So if you're a permanent resident, or if your child was born in Canada, from JK to grade 8, school is free. Yeah.
Okay, great question. Sorry. Thanks for sharing that. There are two things that popped up. I'm going to share that so that you can kind of shed light on it. And then can
Okay.
you see the screen?
Spanking is a form of abuse. Physical abuse is not about having proof now, but if the way of discipline is spanking, it will show later in life. What do you think about that? Again, like I said, raise your child however you want to raise them. I was spanked and I turned out great. Um, I'm not approving or disapproving spanking. You know your child. If your child starts showing signs of mental being affected mentally by that, then you have to fix how you discipline your, like I told you. Now with my son, it's more conversational because he's 3 now. At 3, they start imitating everything that you do. When they meet other kids, they'll push them, they will scream at them. Now he's yelling at his baby brother,
Oh,
because he's like, don't do that, because we tell him, don't do that. Don't. So he's showing that he cares, but
oh,
his tone. So I'm like, okay, I have to tone it down. So I have to explain to Kofi now, Kofi, this is why you shouldn't do that because it's dangerous. Now today, before I even got on here, I was doing my makeup and Kwesi was trying to touch my wig, and she was like, Kofi, Kwesi, what? Sorry, I'm mixing my children's name. Kofi was
that's what
like,
mothers
don't
do.
do that. Kofi was like, Kwesi, don't do that. It's dangerous. So you have to explain things to them. So if I tell you, I don't know if the person who has this question is a mom yet, but
Yeah.
if you have a toddler, the frustration, even if you don't want to spank them, it takes a lot of self-control to say, I'm not going to spank this kid. But there are some babies that are so stubborn, talking doesn't work, and the parents can feel so frustrated and they spank. Not to say that's the right way to go about it, but I would also say watch for the signs, because if you're spanking at some point, they become resistant, they become rebellious, you know, it doesn't work anymore. So find a style that works for you and ditch the methods that's going to mess up with their mental health, because you don't want to teach them that it's okay to do that. It's okay. It's not okay to spank. You're not a goat, you know? But picking when misbehaved, like the day he broke my TV. Nah, fam. I'm
So
sorry. No, that was a special day.
you collect.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Let's not review what happened.
Ah.
Somebody has raised a question. She said, there is something you said. If the person is international student and they give birth, does it mean the child is not going to be a citizen? And once the parent is done schooling, does it mean that the parents can apply to be Canadian citizen?
Okay, so it doesn't matter what your status is as a parent. Once you have a child in Canada, your child is a citizen. No cap.
Okay.
However, you as the parent will have to work your way up to your status, to that
Status.
citizenship status. So if you qualify for postgraduate work permit after your program, then you can get that. When you get to the point where you qualify for your PR, you apply for your PR, and then after 3 years, um, well, not really 3 years if you don't leave Canada at all. So
As
after
well.
1095 days, you can now apply for your Canadian citizenship. I've applied for my citizenship, so I can.
Yay! I'm yet to apply for mine. So I'll keep
Yay!
waiting
You're the best.
till I'm
Yeah,
ready.
you're the best. Yeah.
I'm almost there. Titi, I've been in Canada since 2005.
You said so. I was shocked. It
I
feels like
know.
it takes longer for students.
Students.
It does take so
Yeah.
much longer.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have one question. I know I'm not going to keep you too long. I have two or three
Yeah.
more questions for you if you don't mind. The first one is, so you know how parents need to have like car seats? I don't know how
Mhm.
that work and at what age, because some people will be they've asked that question and they wanted you to answer that for them.
Okay, so it's very, very, very important that you put your child in a car seat before you drive. Um, it's a safety thing, and if you don't drive, you have to have a car seat that you can always hook on. Um, so when you have a small car seat for baby between 0 to maybe 6 months, they have to be rear facing, so the car seat has to face the back, so you know against the driver of the vehicle. So basically the baby's facing the rear window, right? It's a must. You know how in Nigeria you can have your baby on your lap and drive. It is not something that you can do here in Canada. You can be penalized for it, and you can be fined for up to thousands, a couple thousands, um, from 200 to a couple thousand, depending on the level of safety crime you're committing. But yes, you have to have a car seat. And then when your child is I think is it 5, you have to step up. Like as they grow, you have to step up the car seats until they're at least 8 years old. So yeah, that's about that.
Ooh,
Hmm.
wow. I didn't know that. I'm learning something now.
Yeah.
Getting myself prepared.
Yes. Baby. Yeah.
Another question for you is so in terms of advice, what would be your best advice for new parents, so people who have just had their kids? I know you had said something about depends on individual and your culture and all that, but what would be your best advice, something that has worked well for you that you could advise other people?
I don't know if anything really. Trust me, I've been being a mom the second time. I'm still learning. I still get shocked by some things that happen. I'm still trying to hack things. I don't know if there is any book that prepares you for motherhood or for childbirth or for pregnancy, because everybody is different. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I would just say, see, don't pressure yourself too much. We're all still learning on this journey. Um, if one mother can give you this advice, another one will tell you, "Hey, that does not work. These products will work for you." If I tell you how I did my breast, see, I suffered in breastfeeding. I bled. Like, I had so much terrifying days, horrifying moments. But I have a friend who just had a baby. Zero of that.
Hmm.
So, and before she had the baby, I told her, if you see, I thought that was a standard. Like you will go through this when you're nursing. She didn't
Mm.
go through it. Um, so I would just say, see, relax, soak it all in. I have days when I feel depressed. Feel what you need to feel. When I post something on social media on my Instagram, I get comments like, "Hey, you're looking so this, you're looking that." Listen to me, I'm telling you, we only put our best foot forward on socials. I
100%.
can share when I'm having a horrible day in my story and it wipes away in 24 hours, so you don't know that. I
Mm.
share my real life in my stories. So if you want to know my real life, you can follow me and see my stories. But I'm telling you, I may not even post anything on socials when I'm having a terrible day. I just watch comedy. Like I just watch funny stuff on Instagram. I may not post anything. But I have days when I feel like, see, I just want to walk away from everything. Like it's just so hard. Like, you know, I've got messages from young moms saying, I don't feel like myself. I feel like I don't know who I am anymore. This is just so hard. Only last week, this mom, she was like, my child is 6 months old, and she was like, it's just so difficult, and she's just
Mm.
lamenting. I said, babe, we're in the same WhatsApp group. She was like, yeah. She was like, you seem like you're doing everything so seamlessly, like you have everything together. I said, babe, we're in the same WhatsApp group. The only difference is one of the ways I cope is I go in front of the mirror and I do the things I love, makeup. I love to make up. So when I'm having a bad day, I put my son on my back. I give the other one screen time. I stay in front of my because that's the only thing I do for myself that makes me feel like this is me. Because from the moment I wake up, in fact, all through the night, I'm doing baby stuff. I love to create content. I don't get as much time as I would like to do that. So when I wear makeup, I'm like, okay. And don't get me wrong, right? I love myself, my natural self. I love myself with or without makeup. But
Yeah.
sometimes you just feel like, oh, and Gloria, I'm not ashamed to show myself when I tie a scarf or when I'm backing, maybe
Yeah.
I'm looking like I show myself in every way. I love see self-confidence is not my problem, right? But sometimes you just don't want to look the way you
Yeah.
feel. And wearing makeup makes me feel good, makes me feel like, yeah, I see you. You're still a baby girl. So I would say find ways that you can cope. Having a long shower does it for me. Doing
Mm.
my hair is therapeutic for me sometimes. Wearing makeup is therapeutic for me. Going for walks, I would just say take it easy on yourself. Whatever it is that you're going through is a journey that's beautiful, even though it comes with its own hardship. It's okay to complain. Don't let mom guilt, you know, come for you and make you feel like, oh, because you complain about a bad day, you're a bad mom. You're not. So just take it easy and love yourself regardless. I'm praying for you.
Titi, this question I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to be able to answer it, but now I am someone who is thinking of having a baby, but there are so many things out there on social media, and I've heard that from many of my friends who have had kids here in Canada. And you know this thing about, I don't know if I'm saying the right word, postpartum disorder.
Depression, postpartum.
Depression? Yeah. You know, after you give birth to your kids and you start feeling like you hate the kid and all of that, or you
Yeah,
start
yeah.
losing hair. And can
Mhm.
you educate those
Postpartum
of us who are,
hair
yes, can you educate those of us who are looking to have our babies so that we can know before that?
loss. So postpartum hair loss does not happen with everybody. In fact, my hair grew even more lustrous. Didn't affect me. For postpartam depression, I had it too. I
Hmm.
had it. I had to tell my husband. My husband was doing the most. He was being so kind, but I couldn't even connect with him or anyone around me emotionally. And I remember the day I told him I wanted to talk to him. We sat down. I told him how I was feeling, that I was struggling to connect with him, that even though he's doing his best, he's trying, but for some reason I can't look at him the same way. And I love my baby. It didn't really affect my baby. I was
Hmm.
shopping. I became an impulsive shopper. Retail
Okay.
therapy was retail therapy was a thing for me.
Medicine.
Like if I feel like, oh, I survived the day, I'm going on Amazon.
Hmm.
Do you get like, oh, I did good today. I'm getting makeup, or it was just a coping mechanism for me because I didn't know what to do. There were days I would feel so sad I didn't want to get up from bed. Sometimes, like the first couple weeks, I was having this intense contractions when I'm breastfeeding, like I'm in labor. When
Hmm.
that happens, it would feel like if you were near me, I would pull you. Like I would grab the headboard, I would be stretching, my legs would be,
Hmm.
coiling. Um, it was serious. And I'm happy that, I allowed myself go through that phase. When that would happen, I would feel like I would almost want to drop my baby. Like I wouldn't like to look at him. And
Wow.
sometimes touch, like when you have a baby, you can't get a break. Like you're always being touched, somebody is sucking your breast and touching you, and you don't have space. There was a time that touch became a problem. Like I didn't want to be hugged, I didn't want to be touched too
Hmm.
much. It was just a lot of touching for me. um but now, oh my God, I love my child to death. I can just stay up and be looking at him like, wow, you're what God gave to me. I'm glad that phase passed. And one of the reasons why I feel like I got through it was because I followed this principle I always tell myself: closed mouths don't get fed. I know that when
Hmm.
you're depressed, not a lot of people know how to talk about it, but I am someone who, if you ask me how are you feeling, I'll tell you I had a rough night. This
Yeah.
was the bad dream I had. I'll tell you, I don't say fine. I don't just say fine. I always tell you exactly how I feel. So I was able to express to my husband. And he's a mental health counselor, so he
Hmm.
listens very well, and he communicates really good. So the communication style between us is great. Even though like we're not perfect, but the fact that he's someone I can talk to, really helped. So I'll just always communicate how I'm feeling part time, and he's someone who listens and acts on what he hears. So in fact, I was like, okay, now you're overdoing. There was a time for 2 weeks I didn't do the dishes. Like he would come back from work, he would meet them, he would do them. Once he's done with the dishes, he takes over the kids. He'll say, "Do you want to go into rest?" He
Hmm.
would bring me food. On the weekend, I was sleeping, he would bring me food. Sometimes he would even make dinner. And when we can't make dinner, he would order food in or branch my favorite restaurant, bring dinner just to make me feel better, or just pick up my feet, massage it. Like he was just always very supportive. And that really helped me to get through it very quickly. But yes, postpartum depression is real. I had nightmares. I had sweat nights when I would sweat. It would feel like I was drenched. Um, it was tough. It was tough, and it's real. It may not happen to other people like it happened to me, but yeah, it's real. It happens.
Somebody said, "Sorry, you went through all that." That's Maggie.
Thank you.
And
Thank
Maggie
you,
made a
Maggie. And
comment.
I see her comment. Yeah. Uh, she said it's true. It is really a deep one, and each child is exactly. So no one method fit. That's so true, and that's why I don't give parenting advice.
Yeah.
Learn with your child. That's why I said observe your child, watch out for symptoms, behavioral changes. That's
Hmm.
something you need to know. If you're in a certain if you're a certain way with your child and it's not working, change your method because yeah. Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for that, Maggie.
Yeah. And Emma was just responding to Adawia's question on children who are born here. And like she said, any child born in Canada is a Canadian citizen. So
Yes, yes.
100% is instantly. I
The
wish I
one
could be a baby again, Lola.
I know, I know. I was telling my son. I told Kofi. I said, Kofi, hi. You just came. I came to this country after all I went through. I'm still not a citizen. You just became instant. You came. You changed my life, and got citizenship. Just so yeah.
Oh, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much,
And I
Ada.
just wanted to say, Titi shared her, her live birth. at home,
I
and I
did.
would post that video, the link to that video in the description. There's a
Thank
part one and there's a part two.
you. The part one was just the process,
Process,
getting
yes. Are you?
pregnant. Then part two is the real thing.
Is the real thing. You don't want them to watch the part one.
I mean, no, it's up to them. I can't tell them what to watch, but yeah, you can follow through the journey. Oh, mother of three. Woo! Oh,
There
thank
you go,
you,
Maggie.
Maggie. Well done. Yeah, the veteran
The real
mommy.
deal.
It's you. You know what's up. You know the drill, man.
She's the real deal. I don't
I'm
have any
not
kids
into
yet.
the streets,
I'm still slowly getting there. So
man.
yes, she is a content creator on YouTube. I'm going to leave links to her um, YouTube channel. And Adaiwe, thanks.
Thank
God bless
you.
all mothers. Amen.
Thank
Um,
you. And
she says that she's a content creator. She's on YouTube. She's on Instagram. Maggie, I know you. I follow you. You follow me as well. You're a good, great person. You're always on. You're a social media person. You are very, very good at content creation. And
thank you.
I will drop the links
Maggie,
to
Maggie, please follow me. I promise I'll follow you back.
yeah. Um,
Lola Black
Lola
official.
Black
That's
on Instagram, Lola Black on YouTube, and you're on something else again.
Clubhouse.
Cool. I don't know that
Yeah.
one. No.
And let's be friends. I also created. That's how I met Gloria, by the way. Let's be
Exactly.
friends. Yes, let's be friends is a social community I created to help immigrants in Canada, whether new or old, to be able to meet and blend. And I'm very happy for that because I'm also a beneficiary of that platform because I met Gloria, and that's how we're doing this collaboration today. So yeah, you
Wow.
can follow us on Let's Be Friends at Let's Be Friends Canada .ca. That's
Titi,
what
are
it's
you able
called.
to type that in the chat box?
Oh, there is a. It says the chat is private. No,
No. Are you? Is
but
it private?
yeah, but yeah, I think you're going to receive it. I think you're
Oh,
going to
okay.
see it privately. Then maybe you can share. And my
Okay.
Instagram is at Lola Black Official.
So please, guys, follow TT on Let's Be
Yeah.
Friends.
Thank you,
Um,
Maggie.
where do I put that now? So that's it for Let's Be Friends. That's where she talked about. And in terms of how to get Lola uh, Instagram, I'm going to share that now on the chat box. Guys, please follow this amazing woman. She's incredible. You see
You
her
thank
today here. Before we
you.
before we started this program, she's still carrying that baby at her back. I'm just surprised that he has not started crying.
Yeah, the wonders of the back, or the wonders.
I don't
This,
understand it. So you
this is
mothers should
how I'm
explain.
able to get. This is how I'm able to get things done. That's it.
I'm going to
Doing.
type your YouTube.
Okay,
YouTube
awesome.
is
Thank you.
Lol.
Did you
I don't know how to
see?
say it.
It's Lola Black.
Lola Black is it. So yeah. Does anybody have any last question? Well done, nice one. Samuel Izundu, thank you for coming. You see,
Thank,
everyone, you guys are amazing. You took out time to come listen to us today.
thank
You're
you,
very, very
Samuel.
amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't forget, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, my name is Gloria Oz. Please, I will drop the links to my channel. In fact, just hit that subscribe button if you're new here. I know all of you that have not subscribed to my channel here. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Join me. Click the like button so that most other persons can watch this video. And one last thing before you leave, Titi, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you. I
Thank you
know
so much.
you are a very busy person, and right now you have to go take care of the boys. Somebody just said last word said baby Kofi need to pay to daddy Kofi. Oh. We share name in common.
Oh,
Okay.
really? Oh, that's amazing. Thank
Could you
you.
could, could you do a feature live on dealing with racism in Canada? That's Emma. I don't know who
Oh,
even knows Emma, but Emma is saying if we could do that. But I
I
talked
have.
about that in one of my videos. I
Yeah,
don't know whether
I,
have you
yeah, I
spoken
think
about
we
that.
both. Yeah, I have maybe two. That video, I received a lot of backlash.
Backlash. Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I have been insulted. See, listen, Gloria, as you've chosen this YouTube life, mentally prepare for what is going to come because people will come for you for the
Yep.
things that you share. And
Okay.
I have seen it all. Like go yourself, go. There is nothing, absolutely nothing I feel like anybody is going to say to me that will affect me mentally, that will affect my mental health. And I say that because I have seen the worst and I have sort of like created a way to a mechanism around that I don't no longer absorb it. And something that my husband taught me years ago is do not fixate on people that are not permanent fixtures in your life.
Hmm.
People who don't know you, they don't know nothing about you. They just think that they can troll you because you said something out in public. They are not people that you should focus your attention on. So I'll just tell you, it doesn't matter what people say. People don't always have to agree with your opinion. Say
Yeah.
what you need to say respectfully and let people, you're responsible for what you say, but you're not responsible for how people absorb that information. So let everybody contribute respectfully and you don't have to abuse people for having a difference in opinion. But yeah, you can go on my channel and you see where I talked about being black in Canada. I also talked about raising kids in Canada, and you can see what I had to say there. And if you have any contributions, I'm happy to chat with you in the comments. Yeah, yeah, it takes a lot of courage, Ada. It does. Yeah. Okay.
But any last words for us, Titi, before skip away?
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was an honor to be here to chat, to have this conversation with you today. Thank you all for listening. I can't see you guys, so I don't even know how many of you are there. How many people are here, Gloria?
I think there's about 10
Uh,
people watching.
Thank you all so much for taking your time out to join us here. I really appreciate. And please connect with me if you like to reach out with me privately. I don't bite. I promise.
She doesn't bite. She's very honest about that. She doesn't.
Reach out and I'm happy to chat with you and get to know you and share your experience. And let's just share. Thank you guys so much again. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Titi. I appreciate your time and I appreciate you coming today. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you. Take care and have a wonderful afternoon.
You as well. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right, guys, I just want to say thank you all for coming to my live session today. I do appreciate you. I've seen so many new faces. I just want to say my name is Gloria, and I'm a content creator here on YouTube. I love to share my experiences and also helping new immigrants to settle in Canada. So if this is your very first time, please go ahead right now and hit the red subscribe button for contents like this that I'm creating every week, sharing information that will be informative for all of you and those who are intending to come to Canada. And don't forget, as you go, to hit the like button is very important because that way YouTube will share the videos to other people who are looking for such information. If you want more of this kind of sessions, let me know. I know next week we'll have something new. I won't give it away because I don't want to just let you start thinking, okay, what's going to happen. I want to just keep everything codedly until next week. Someone else will be coming in to talk about something different. Please make sure you turn on your notification bell icon so that you will be notified when that event is going to take place. And if you do have any question, the chat box, the comment section is free. Leave your comments. Please be positive. I don't know anything about parenting. I've never been a parent before. And that's why I had to bring somebody who was once a parent, who is a parent, not once. Sorry about that. Who is a parent. If you want more information, if you have other questions, if you want us to do something, a repeat of what we've done today, let me know in the comment section. And guys, thank you so much for your time. Actually, Titi wanted to just do 20 minutes, but I'm so glad that she stayed all the while and the children didn't really disturb today. So until we meet some other time, and I know my video will be up tomorrow, I won't tell you what the topic is, but it's going to be very, very, very interesting and very informative, something that you would learn from as well. So until we see tomorrow on my video on YouTube, stay safe, guys, and bye bye.